Welcome to TK Civics. So let's take a look at all the craziness that's happening so far this week. Starting out with probably the biggest story, that's Trump accepting a gift for Qatar from a $400 billion Boeing aircraft to be used as Air Force One. This, of course, would be the greatest violation of government ethics in the United States history. And for those of you that might say, well, this is just being a gift, we're the United States of America. We're the largest and richest country on the planet, and we don't need to be receiving a gift to fly our president around. This is clearly a bribe, and this goes directly to Donald Trump's presidential library and directly to Donald Trump after his term of office. Then next on, we have the Trump issuing an ultimatum to Russia and Ukraine. Mostly it seems to Ukraine to advance peace talks. Well, this would be the greatest dereliction of responsibility to the free world if America actually were to exit peace talks. It is in our best interest and it's our responsibility to the freedom of the world and to our own security to ensure that some peace comes to fruition in Ukraine. And then next up, we have the US strikes a $600 billion deal with Saudi Arabia as Donald Trump's Middle East tour begins. What's more important here is what kind of bribery and what kind of deals are happening behind the scenes that don't impact everyday Americans, that actually directly impact Donald Trump, his family, and other grifters associated with Donald Trump. And next, we have the GOP's tax plan could add $3.7 trillion to the deficit over the next decade. Well, this is no surprise. Donald Trump has been president before, and during his previous term, he added just during his term $9 trillion to the national debt. This is not surprising, whether it's Republican or Democrats, both parties have been adding to the debt. And the way you're going to solve this is through fairer taxation, and we're going to talk about that in a moment. And then next we have Tesla reportedly has a $800 million worth of Cybertrucks that nobody wants. Good riddance to Elon Musk. He needs to be put out to pasture in terms of business and politically speaking. And next up, we have Zelensky is going to Turkey to have talks with Erdogan and to meet Putin if he shows up. But does anyone think that Putin is actually going to show up and have to face conversations with the bigger man, which is clearly Zelensky? Putin's ego will never allow him to be pressured into showing up. So my prediction is this has no chance of happening. But we'll see. Let me know in the comments. Next up, we have Trump signing an executive order to lower the price of big pharma price gouging on prescription drugs. This is something that Biden did in the last term or Congress did in the last term, and this is not how our government works. An executive order will have little impact on actually reducing the prices of pharmaceuticals, and it needs to be Congress passing laws and regulations. That is how you fix this issue. So while this sounds great on the face of it, there has very little chance, and Big Pharma will be filing all kinds of lawsuits, and this will never come to fruition. And then we have Trump's big, beautiful military parade perfectly distills his presidency. That's right, he wants to be an authoritarian, and it's only authoritarians that have military parades. And then lastly, we have Trump has skipped all but 12 of his daily intelligence briefings. If this was any other presidency or any other time, this would be a huge story that the president is not even going to his intelligence briefings. But you heard Donald Trump say it before. He thinks he knows better than the generals and probably thinks he doesn't need to attend these intelligence briefings. This is just an embarrassment for the head of a state to not be attending intelligence briefings, the very things that are supposed to keep us safe by knowing what's actually happening around the world. So that's all the crazy that's been happening so far this week. Now let's talk about the core solutions, the fundamental solutions. If we really want to take our democracy back, it really comes down to four things. It's as easy and as simple as these four things. If we want our democracy back and we want it to serve society over billionaires or corporations, we must remove money for politics. Secondary, you have to have strict term limits, and you have to get rid of the idea of career politicians. And third, fair taxation, where billionaires and corporations pay their fair share of taxes. And this is how you reduce the deficit. All of society is being defrauded by corporations and billionaires to the tune of $1 to $2 trillion a year in them not paying their fair share of taxation. And when people are mad about taxes, my contention is that most people are just mostly upset about how unfair it is that there are so many loopholes for billionaires and corporations. And then thirdly, we need media reform. And this is from corporate media and social media. Again, these are billionaires and giant corporations that own all of media, and they are having a direct impact on manipulating us and influencing us against our best interest. If you look at three of these four things, removing money from politics, fair taxation, and media reform, they all involved the ultra wealthy. And of course, they are buying the politicians and the career politicians to serve their best interests, not our best interests. Now, you may look at these things and say, this is impossible, but it's certainly not impossible. It might be improbable, but if you wanted to have a democracy reset, it can't be just about voting for the other party. This all comes down to the will and the power of the people. If there are 60 to 70 million people that truly supported these initiatives, we could certainly transform government and transform our democracy. That's it for today's episode. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and share this far and wide, and there's so much more to come. I'll see you in the next one.